I understand this is a split call. Call Gareth Hughes for 5 minutes. Gareth
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Kia ora, ngā mihi nui, kia koutou, kia ora.
Kia ora.
In this speech, I want to respond to the Prime Minister's opening statement. What I heard, Mr. Speaker, was a negative, attacking, aggressive speech that focused more on national and focused more on the Labour and the Green parties than focused on national and their ideas. Mr. Speaker, I believe New Zealanders want to hear about parties' policies. They want to hear about positive solutions. I believe the people of New Zealand are sick and tired of the negative attack politics, the petty partisanship, the dirty electorate deals. After too many years of putting the spies, the casinos, the polluters, the oil companies first, New Zealanders know it's time for a change. After 5 years of national, selling out our assets and selling out to the corporates, it's time to put people and the planet first. This year, New Zealand can make history with another first. In 8 months' time, New Zealand could have its first good green government. In 2014, New Zealand can make history by electing the most progressive government this country has seen in a generation. If the Prime Minister is going to go negative, the Greens, we're going to stay positive. And that's the Greens' message this election. A Green government will invest in its people, will protect its environment, and will build an economy which works for everyone. Key's speech was all about sowing fear and saying the economy is at risk. Conditions are improving, but Key is simply papering over the serious cracks facing us. We need a government that's going to put the books in order and is going to address those pressing economic challenges like massive overseas debt and like the loss of control of our productive assets. We need an economic plan that's more than just cramming more cows on our paddocks and hoping foreign oil companies find something in the depths of the ocean and they don't leave too much of a mess trying to get it out. Coming out of the recession, it's time to look forward to a prosperous future, a richer New Zealand. We need to invest in infrastructure like a second internet cable, support our smart IT sector, and take advantage of the $6 trillion clean energy green tech sector. For 30 years we've been told there's no alternative to Rogernomics by both his red and blue right-wing successors. Neoliberal economics plainly has failed New Zealand on its own terms. We've dropped from 5th in the OECD economic performance rankings in 1951 to 23rd today. We're more dependent on dairy than ever, and we work some of the longest hours for some of the lowest wages and pay some of the highest cost of living costs in the OECD. The neoliberal economic experiment has seriously cost the country, but this year we can make history and embark on a new direction that works for us, not just for the corporate elites. Likewise, after 30 years of growing poverty and widening inequality, it's time to focus on real people, not just the Tiwais, the choruses, the Sky Cities, the Anadakos. It used to be said the Prime Minister of New Zealand knew all the unemployed in the country and we didn't have poverty. Well, that's far from the case now, and we all know it. In a land that exports food that feeds 20 million people, it's an absolute travesty that our kids are still going to school without food in their belly. Whole families are deprived of work, and we've got 270,000 Kiwi kids growing up in poverty. We all know it's highly unlikely those young and unemployed Kiwis are going to be working on Anadarko's deep-sea drilling rigs. What we can see, and what the stats show, is we can see tens of thousands of people employed in high-earning sectors like IT. They can be people building good homes for New Zealanders, insulating under the roofs and putting solar panels on the top. Cheaper power from NZ Power, affordable housing from our Home for Life package, and lifting our kids out of poverty puts New Zealanders, its people first. A fair go for all might sound like, something from distant history, but this year we can make history by returning it front and centre to our politics, and we can tackle inequality and poverty. Thirdly, we need to protect what we love and is the foundation for our prosperity, our environment. Under National, 2/3 of our rivers are unsafe for swimming, and as we heard today, the nitrogen pollution levels are greater than the Yangtze River. We can grow jobs, cleaning up our rivers, and reclaim our birthright to safely swim in any New Zealand river or stream. We can do our fair share for a stable climate and grow jobs in climate-friendly industries like public transport, and we can take advantage of the $20 billion annual economic opportunity that comes from clean energy and things like solar, geothermal, wave. In conclusion, what we're doing is offering New Zealanders a positive alternative to the Prime Minister's negativity. In this election, every single vote is going to count, and the question facing our country is over our direction. In less than a year's time, we can make history with our most progressive government, a government that's fairer, a cleaner New Zealand, a richer New Zealand.
David.